All right, welcome in. Tigers win. Moose with the Box, presented by Gotlit Light Installers. Let a few people make their way on in. LSU 11-1 winners over UNO on a Tuesday night. A Tuesday night that saw plenty of upsets, actually, in the SEC. Of course, number one, Tennessee going down. Classic letdown spot there for the Vols. This is always an interesting week in the season, right after you have your first weekend of conference play. Teams are high, teams are low, then you go back into the midweek. It's a tricky spot, man. It's a tricky spot, and LSU passed that test with flying colors. There's a lot to like. LSU bashes 4 home runs, 2 of them from Ethan Fry. Of course, the walk-off right there. LSU uses 3 pitchers, walks just 2, and strikes out 10. Loved the moxie from Jaden Noot. We'll talk plenty about what we saw from him in his 4-inning outing tonight. That was a huge step in the right direction for him. He continues to just progress each time he's out on the mound, and that's extremely encouraging. Jared Jones, a 4-hit night out of the 2-hole. He was fantastic. Derek Curiel cuts it close, but does extend his on-base streak to 22 games. He's reached in all 22. And, of course, you look at LSU, and that's 16 straight. And now you'll head into the weekend. You'll face Texas. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. But, man, there's really not much to complain about when you pass up or when you win, you finish, and you look back at this game tonight. LSU dominated an inferior opponent. They banged out, double-digit hits. They didn't commit an error. They took advantage of 3 errors from UNO. They were awesome. Smash the like button if you have not already. Get subscribed on the YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app if you have not already. And we'll go ahead and get right into it. And we'll start with Jaden Noot. So, Jaden Noot, we've talked about this plenty. The stuff plays fine. It's exactly what you want. Remember Noot's journey. Jaden Noot, if not for an injury, probably doesn't even end up at LSU. Has surgery late, misses all of his freshman year, doesn't make his first appearance in an LSU uniform until last season in that Vanderbilt series. So at that point, you're into that was your 4th conference weekend at that point. He makes that appearance, and that's it. So this was his 9th appearance ever in college. It's going to keep taking time. And one thing you've seen from him, the walk number's been a little bit concerning, but everything else has been pretty good. He comes out, fires a first pitch fastball, gets ahead of the hitter, then walks the first batter of the game. Gives up single, forces a run across. You're looking at first and second, nobody out. Then he proceeds to strike out the side and then really settled in. Jaden Noot threw 27 pitches in that first inning. He ends up getting you 4, throws 67, so he threw 40 more pitches the rest of the time. So, 40 pitches over 3 innings after that. Really good, kind of where you want it. Doesn't walk anybody else, and just gives up a couple more hits throughout that outing as well, but ends up striking out 5 with that 1 walk. The way he settled in, it was awesome. He mixed his pitches very well. You saw him really kind of go away from the slider that second trip through, more towards the off speed to complement the fastball there instead of the slider. But that was very encouraging. I mean, from the way that game started for him to the way it finished, he ends up lowering his ERA. There's a lot to build off on from Jaden Noot there. And look, y'all, I will continue to say this. I think you keep getting him opportunity, you keep getting him innings under the belt. By the end of this season, he could be a real X factor for you out of the bullpen or even in a spot start potentially in tournament play. The stuff just doesn't lie. And look, the more experience he gets, the better it's going to be. I had somebody ask me on Twitter after tonight, does he get a look on the weekend after that outing? Here's the deal. If he does, it'd be probably Sunday. Again, 67 pitches. You'll let him, kind of rest and recover. That's easily the longest outing of his career, easily the longest outing for him this season. You'll have to see where the recovery is for him there. The other thing is, I don't think you're quite there yet. I think you need to see a little more from him. But that was encouraging because that's a lineup that can hit the baseball. We talked about that with UNO. Hitting was not their issue. Defense and pitching was. And you saw all of that on display tonight. So major tip of the hat to Jaden Noot. I thought he was awesome. Just the bounce back, the way he was able to settle in. He stayed within himself. That was great for him. And again, the ability to extend. Loved that. So, man, major tip of the hat. Job well done, Jaden Noot. That was fantastic. I was surprised also to see them extend him that much. I thought after 2 innings, I really kind of thought that was going to be it. I didn't think they were going to let him go back through the lineup a second time. They did, and again, I mean, he responded. I'm glad they let him do that. That was great to see. The other thing that was great to see, you're down 1-0. Again, he limits the damage. LSU's offense immediately responds. Jared Jones at the bottom half of the first inning, absolute nuke to left center field, clears everything, 114 miles per hour off the bat, 450 feet. That ball got out in no time off the bat of Jared Jones, and LSU immediately responds. That's something when Jay Johnson's offenses have been going great at LSU, that's something that you've seen, and this one's no exception. So that was the first. You would ultimately load the bases. Rough to see Aaron Beatty strike out there to end the first inning, but boy, would he make up for it later. LSU would add another single run in the second inning to go up 2-1. Then in the bottom of the third is where you were able to kind of open the game up finally for the first time. That was your 4 spot. You had the double from Jake Brown, and then Aaron Beatty comes up, hits an absolute moonshot over everything in left center field for his second home run of the season. That puts LSU up 4-1. You load the bases yet again, and that's when Josh Pearson had that hustle infield single with 2 outs, and Jared Jones never stopped. It came around to score, and there was your 4-run third inning. At that point, LSU's up 6-1, and you're feeling pretty good. Ethan Fry, obviously with the pinch hit, 3-run homer in the 5th inning. That put LSU up 9-1. Then you'd add single runs in the 6th and the 7th, ultimately to get out of it. A couple more things. We'll get to some questions. Jacob Myers, thought that was the most encouraging outing for Jacob Myers so far in an LSU uniform. Inning in the third, walked just 1. And punched out, 4? I believe he punched out 4. 1 walk, 4 punch outs, and an inning in the third. Okay. Was it completely dominant, him just ahead of every hitter? No, it wasn't. But he was able to climb out of the holes he dug himself in those at-bats. And a lot of it was just fastball. And like that, I get it. That's not going to play for you on the weekend in this league. He's going to have to mix in better pitches, especially if he's falling behind in counts. But tonight, that worked. On Tuesday night against UNO, that worked. And it was really encouraging. Yes, there's still more you need to see from Jacob Myers. No doubt about it. But that was really encouraging. And then you go to Cooper Williams to come in and get the lefty. Ultimately, he doesn't. Falls behind him 2-0, but didn't walk him. He gave up the hit. I'm okay with that. Then he gets the next guy out. Comes back for the 6th, leadoff double, ultimately pitches around that with the help of a double play and gets out of it again. He gave up 2 hits, his first 2 hits of the season. And you know what? I'm good with that because he didn't walk anybody. And that's what we've talked about with Cooper Williams. We wanted to see him kind of eliminate those walks, give up a few hits. That's fine. He's tough to hit. So, it's not... It's not a thing of, he's just getting knocked all over the yard. It's the walks. When he's in the zone, he's tough to hit. You saw that tonight. He was able to pitch around the few hits that he did give up. So that's encouraging. Again, you're not there yet. You want to see a little bit more of him. But ultimately, what I told y'all, after we recapped the Missouri series, we gave our brief little thumbnail preview of this. And what happened is, or I shouldn't say what happened. What I wanted to see is, okay, those guys who maybe you just aren't there at the next, like in that tier or that you count on the weekend. Wanted to see those guys really get their work and do it against a good lineup, which UNO has, and take that next step. And I think a lot of them took that next step forward. They're not ready yet, but they'll get there. The other thing I really wanted to talk about, I thought Cade Beatty had a really good night. I know he punched out a couple times. He had the 2-run homer, but was really impressive was his defense behind the plate. He had the caught stealing, but in that first inning, Noot threw a bunch of balls in the dirt, and he blocked him up every time. Like, every time. With runners on base, Cade Beatty did not let a ball through him tonight. And that is awesome. Like, that is absolutely incredible to see. Does that mean he's completely turned a corner? No. But we've been rough there, so we're absolutely going to give the credit where credit is due. And credit is due to him tonight. He was fantastic. And then the 2-run homer, that was awesome. So I wanted to tip of the hat for Aaron Beatty there. I thought he was really, really good. And that helped Noot settle in that first inning and really be able to get around, what the struggles in the first inning, the jam, if you will, that he was in. So that was fantastic to see. So a great win. I mean, it's a really, really good win. You had some big hits, some timely hits, some hustle plays on offense, and pitching. I mean, you dominated. You walked 2, you struck out 10, you gave up 1 run. That's really freaking good, and you did it without using any really, quote-unquote top arms, which is fantastic to see. And on a night where plenty in the league struggled, you didn't. And that's big going into your next game. So hat tip to LSU there. Take some questions for you here momentarily. Start lining them up. Got Lit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com. Go there for your quote. Temporary outdoor lighting available for any of your events. For any and all of your events. Wedding anniversary, wedding reception, wedding itself, graduation parties. Those are starting to come up. Got Lit Lights, temporary event lighting for you. Custom design, cut to fit, all those great things they do with the Christmas lights. They've now brought that to event lighting as well, and permanent landscape outdoor lighting for you, whether it's front yard or backyard, home or business. Got Lit Lights has you covered. Also, decorative wreaths for other holidays, Easter, 4th of July, things of that nature. Check them out. You can really find that information on their Facebook page. I encourage you to go give them a follow there as well. Got Lit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com for your quote. Tell them you heard it right here on Musso at the Box. All right, questions. Get some questions in here, and we will get some answers for you there. Dan, what does the Tennessee loss mean? Anything or no? No, it means nothing. It's a midweek game. Jesus, y'all, come on. Tennessee just swept number 7 Florida and run ruled them in one of those games. Tennessee's really damn good. Really good. They're fine. Chow time. I know the walks is rough, but I think Myers is a beast and would love to see him get more of a shot. He's the epitome of effective football. Yes, I mean, he's kind of like a real-life Nuke LaLoosh. Like, throw it at the mascot. Trust me. I like that with him. And I think you will. You'll get to see him. Plenty more. Mac, Musso, do you think Jay would pitch Guidry versus Texas if he's healthy, or would you rather him start in a midweek game? And say, no, I think whenever he's healthy and they feel good about putting him out there, they can put him out there. I don't think it matters if it's against Texas. I don't think what that. It's just that is a day-to-day deal with Guidry, y'all. I mean, I know everybody wants it to be something more. It's not. It's a day-to-day deal with his back. And, I mean, all he's doing is playing catch. Like, he's not throwing from a mound. He's playing catch in all the videos and everything that you see. So, I mean, I'm kind of like Jay Johnson at this point. I'm sick of talking about it because it just, until something concrete changes in it, there's nothing to really talk about there. Hannah, do you think this weekend is our biggest test so far? Yeah, no, absolutely, for sure. Here's my thing with Texas. Here's my thing with Texas. When we talked about the schedule preseason, I liked where Texas fell in LSU's schedule. I liked that you got them early because I thought they'd really be a force towards the end. They're ahead, and here's the thing that's scary about them: they're doing it differently than I expected them to. Right? So Texas's deal coming into the season was the lineup was deep and veteran, and it is. And they've had success. On the mound, they were searching for things. They felt good about Jared Spencer on Friday night, transfer that they had come in, and he's been awesome. But they needed some help in the bullpen and things of that nature. They had some departures, with the coaching change and everything like that. And they were going to bring along some guys slowly. The pitching has actually carried Texas. Not that the offense has been bad. It's been good, but they're hitting, I think, about an even 300. I mean, you look at the rest of the SEC at this point in the season, that's going to have them a little lower. They're kind of right around where Missouri was when they came in. Texas is a deep veteran lineup. That's still a threat, but they are definitely pitching the ball a lot better than I thought. Now, that being said, this will also be the biggest test for Texas, especially their pitching staff. Mississippi State is not the same Mississippi State that you saw a year ago. That lineup is not as potent. It's good, but it's not as potent as it was a season ago. So that also does factor into this. So it's each team's biggest test. But Texas having this series at home, that's a big advantage. That is a big advantage. LSU's got to go on the road and do this, and that place will be sold out for 3 days, and it'll be hostile. And look, Texas wants to get LSU in baseball. The Tigers have won the last few in that series, both of those coming in Houston. So, actually, not both of them. One of them was the Gavin Dugas 3-run homer. So, we'll see. I see y'all talking about them being tied with the UTSA. Okay, now they're down. Well, that's not going to mean much to me, right? I mean, that's not going to mean much to me right now. It's a midweek game. So, the thing I like, though, LSU has proven already in some pretty tight spots to succeed. They'll have to be tested with that again this weekend. What they're going to have to do is a lot of what they did tonight. Throw the ball over the plate. Throw the ball over the plate. And you're going to be in good shape. I really do. All right. Any other questions here? I haven't eaten dinner yet tonight. That's what happens when I'm going to the midweek games. Any other questions? Hey, the Tommy White burner account. How's spring training going, Tommy White? Fake Tommy White. All right, guys, y'all got anything else? All right, that's going to wrap it up then. Y'all smash the like button on your way out. Get subscribed if you have not already. Got Lit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com, and be here next time for more on Moose with the Box.